Hey everybody, welcome.
Uh,
We're gonna check out a video real quick. This is surrounding the Maui in Hawaii, the wildfires that are going on. Hit that like button and drop a subscribe. If you really like the content, hit that notification. But let's get into this. Let's check this out. I'm muting it because you mostly just have helicopter sounds, but this is the devastation that happened in Maui. I guess last night. Um, I mean, these wildfires completely decimated what seems to be almost the entire town. Um, 36 last I heard, but I've also seen in comments people have said like now it's like 51, 52 or something like that. So I'm sure it's going to be a pretty decent death toll. Um,
it's so humid there too. It's wild that the wildfire could really do that.
it may be humid, yeah, but it's also very sunny, so it might be drier than you might expect. Maybe I'm not really sure. I mean, kind of probably depends on the time of year.
Yeah, I mean, it is surprising to see this in Hawaii. It's like, I mean, I guess if you get one building on fire and you're not used to having to deal with this type of thing, then I
I mean,
guess,
it's like leveled down, and it's what's interesting is like here's like a few houses that are like this one seems like completely untouched. This
yeah,
one virtually untouched as well. And maybe this one is okay, but like everything around it,
yeah. It's. I mean, because it has to
everything.
hop concrete. It has to hop across concrete, and it can't do
I
it,
mean,
and
it's
so
crossing streets though. I mean,
it
it's
depends on the wind and
yeah,
how the broken pieces of wood blow across the street and what lands on and what doesn't land on. Yeah, no, that's brutal.
jeez,
I didn't hear about it until you just mentioned it to me. I mean,
yeah.
it's unfortunately there's stuff like this that happens every day that doesn't even get covered ever anymore
This is a massive
because
one. Well, I mean,
yeah,
I don't know that there's that many that happen like this, where it's like literally wiping out entire towns. I mean, that's a
mm,
large swath of things. Um,
it's hard for me to gain perspective because um I just don't know. I mean, it seems like every time I see a fire story, it's always massive and
but it's
ridiculously.
usually in forests. It's usually just
Yes,
trees that are burning,
that is true.
right? It's not houses. Maybe there's like, a
They probably
dozen
don't have
houses
like a
or something.
firefighters. They probably don't have firefighters because they don't need it. In general, they're all in the freaking water. They're like it's usually moist enough, and I don't know. That's
Maybe.
just wild.
I wonder if there have been wildfires in Hawaii. Um, I'm gonna look that up. Wildfires in Hawaii. Um, I mean, I think I'm mostly just gonna get to stuff in today's. Maybe I'll do history. Add history to it.
There's 44 fire stations. They have 44 fire stations on Honolulu, but I don't know about the small islands. Islands. So, anyways, is there anything profound other than the fact that there's devastation here? Is there
I
any
mean, it's
sort of
mostly
like?
that, but I guess I wanted to hear what Joe Biden's response is. So
Oh, okay.
Joe Biden. I mean, as the president, and here's a big, massive thing. When there were like hurricanes that wiped out, a lot of the some of our territories. I think it hit didn't it hit like Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Um, and so there was a lot of stuff that was kind of going down with that, and so like what's the response, and just a lens that I kind of was interested in viewing this Biden from is that Biden is he kind of in a sense ran on being that kind of the 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 hyper empathetic person because of the tragedies that he's gone through in his life and the loss that he's had in his life, that he could really relate to other people on that human level, and kind of bring some empathy to tragic situations, um, And so I guess I haven't really heard. I listened to a little bit of it, but I haven't heard much of it.
So is this a long address? Or
It's
so
like
you?
2 minutes.
Okay, sure, let's do it.
It's yeah, it's roughly 2 minutes. So let's check it out.
And I want to say a word about the devastating wildfires that have claimed at least 36 lives in Maui and Hawaii. We have just approved a major disaster declaration for Hawaii, which will get aid into the hands of the people desperately needing help now. They've lost, anyone who's lost a loved one whose home has been damaged or destroyed is going to get help immediately. And I've directed that we surge support to these brave firefighters and first responders and emergency personnel working around the clock there, risking their lives. I just got off the phone before I got here for a long conversation with Governor Josh Green this morning. Let him know I'm going to make sure the state has everything it needs from the federal government to recover.
So far, I mean, I guess we're roughly a minute in. So far, he's just going from teleprompter to teleprompter. He's just kind of reading.
But
stuff.
he seems fine. Is this like some sort of test on me or something to see if I'll give him credit?
No, it's not really a test on anything. I guess I'm like, for what I'm kind of expecting from him, knowing what he kind of like came into the office with the impression is like, hey, when something really terrible happens,
Yeah. All right. Well,
you know, where like to see the empathy. And I mean, I guess so far, all I'm getting is him going from teleprompter to teleprompter, saying, "This is what
I feel.
This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm
It
doing."
feels dirty for me to try to smoke out whether he's empathetic or not, though. So I'm kind of like, but I get it. We'll
I mean,
watch the rest
hey,
of it.
you know, if he's, you know, I guess I'm waiting for him to stop reading and kind of like bring something
Yeah,
that
that
he
can't
was
happen because
his
when he's done reading,
personality.
the cane will come and he'll pull off stage, so he can't stop reading until he's done.
I mean, that I guess that's an excuse, sure. Yeah.
The FEMA Administrator Griswold will be in Maui tomorrow, and I've directed her to streamline any process with requests for help and survivors registered for immediate federal assistance without delay. FEMA is surging disaster assistance personnel on the island, and they're going to help survivors get access to federal assistance. And you know, anybody who wants to know out there where to go if this is televised, that they can go to disasterassistance.gov, disasterassistance.gov, to learn if you're eligible for assistance. And I've ordered all available federal assets on the island, including the U.S. Coast Guard, the Navy Third Fleet, and the U.S. Army, to assist local emergency response crews.
He doesn't seem especially senile here. He just seems old and tired, and he is reading, but he doesn't actually seem like he's not lucid. I feel like he seems like he's just has no energy and is just reading this and just that's all he's got. I don't get the impression that he's actually that he gives a lot of times of him just being clueless.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's really even an opportunity to see whether he's clueless or not, because if you're just reading,
yeah,
you know, then you don't really, you know, you're reading. You don't.
I feel like he's reading it better than usual because normally he's doing a lot of things. He's messing up numbers. I mean,
he said Miami or Maui. But I mean, these are small things that, I mean, you know, he's an old man who's reading off a teleprompter, and you know, I don't necessarily fault him, especially knowing his speech impediment, his little stutter that he kind of has.
Yeah, he's
and
always had that.
Levels of difficulty reading, apparently, you know, but and especially off the cuff kind of stuff, but.
So I can't. I mean, some of that might have seemed a little bit unscripted with the line where he said, "If this gets televised," like, did they put that on the board? Maybe.
I mean,
maybe he is ad-lib.
I mean, maybe that was maybe it's an ad lib, but yeah. I mean, I guess like.
So we're just looking for signs. Are we looking for signs of hope with him, or what's?
I
So
guess so.
this
Like
is
to
it's a
me,
tragedy. It's a tragedy to me, but to me, I just have a hard time. There's so many bad things I hear, but that you can fill your feet up with bad things that happen constantly. What not this type of
this
thing
is not.
exactly.
Yeah, this is not. I don't think that this is like a huge, massive like, oh, Joe Biden, you're so awful, you're so terrible. I don't think that
Yeah.
this is one of those kind of situations. I guess that it's, to me, so far, it's a missed opportunity for him to kind of put his finger on the pulse of the country and kind of be
Mm.
like, man, this was a tragedy. Like a lot of people's homes were lost. A lot of people, and I understand the loss of life and the loss of families. You know, people have been devastated not only by the loss of of their homes, but the loss of their communities, the loss of
Hmm.
their family members. Like, to kind of bring the human aspect to the situation. And the only reason that I'm even kind of like thinking about it is because that's effectively what he ran on, was bringing the human back to the presidency.
Yeah.
And so far, this is kind of just teleprompter speech. So
Okay.
I'll finish it.
We're working as quickly as possible to fight these fires and evacuate residents and tourists. In the meantime, our prayers with the people of Hawaii, but not just our prayers. Every asset we have will be available to them, and they've seen their homes, their business destroyed, and some have lost loved ones, and it's not over yet.
Okay.
Again, I mean, it all kind of ends up seeming a little scripted, but overall, I mean, what it is that he has to say about it, I think is all fine. I don't really have an issue. Hey, it sounds like he's going, he's taking
Yeah.
the right steps to do the right thing, and make sure that those people have assistance and
I
help.
will I will say that it was just boring. It wasn't he wasn't there
It
wasn't
wasn't
any
moving at all. Yeah.
right. It was just boring and it wasn't and I didn't feel oftentimes there'll be attacks on subtle attacks, jabs on opposing and on opposing view people and he didn't do any of that.
I
So it's
mean,
good.
it was very neutral. I mean, it's not
Yeah, it
like when you
was.
had Trump going down there and he's tossing toilet paper, paper towels, you know, into the audience while he's giving out stuff personally. Um, I mean, I guess yeah. There's no opportunity for a criticism like that because he's just reading a very plain
Yeah.
standard thing. So you know, I guess it is what it is. It's nothing special. It's not heartwarming. It's not moving, but it sounds like he's doing the right thing. So I
Yeah.
guess kudos.
So i- that is the most energy you're going to see in his campaign, unfortunately.
Until
Um,
he hits the debate stage, if he hits the
maybe.
debate stage, and he pops some pills, and he's like, "I'm ready to go,"
Yeah.
and he gets some brain activity happening. But he can't do that all day. Okay, I think we're gonna call this one. This is a little a shorter one. So hit the like once again. Hit the like button. Tap that subscribe, and if you really like this one, hit that bell icon, so you can get notified when we drop new ones. All right, later, guys.